What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, filling in for Hardcore Wrestling 101. And why do we look like a two-headed monster?
You're the one that... So, I know we're a week late, but we're all going to be doing the results show for the Ring of Honor Final Battle.
He forgot. We were supposed to do this Thursday, but he forgot.
Well, I didn't forget. It's just I almost slept. Just about did that today, too. So, most of the people I remember, most of the matches I remember, especially the championship.
First off, did you and her have fun?
We did. But we came this close from getting sideswiped on the way there. We was on the interstate that becomes George Bush's Turnpike in Dallas. And it was raining so hard, there was a car on one side of the interstate, and I just happened to look in my rear view mirror, and it went whoosh, and hit the wall. I just hope they survived, but... So, here we go. Zero Hour consists of... So this would have been Jeff Cobb. He defeated Dorado, which is a Mexican guy. This was predictable.
I don't understand why they didn't announce the pre-show matches before.
A lot of times they don't, though. So that's... But Jeff Cobb was going to win this nonetheless. It was predictable. I'm not going to say it was a bad match because it was a pretty decent match.
Pre-show matches are predictable, if you think.
Okay, so Jericho Asayidi defeated Ion, ISOM, and Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
There's a guy he's just a small little thing. But he has gotten bigger, but he is a fan favorite. Again, the match was kind of predictable for a pre-show, but
I never thought I'd hear a ring name after a food.
I don't even know how he got his name, but he did. So, Willow Nightingale defeated Adora, Adora. This was actually a pretty decent match for a pre-show.
I have no idea who Adora is.
You really would have to watch the 0 Hour to see. I didn't know who she was until the match, but it was good. For a pre-show, it really was good.
Okay, and for the main card...
Not yet. We still got one match.
Wait. They had 4?
So, Top Flight, which is...
Dante and...
Moulton.
Dante and his brother.
They went against the Kingdom. I was shocked about the outcome here.
Top Flight?
I thought the Kingdom was going to win this for sure, being that they were the Ring of Honor guys in this match. But maybe Tony wants to see if Top Flight can stay healthy. Maybe they join Ring of Honor. Tag division. Because right now...
I would put his brother in singles matches. Just to see if he can be...
he could. And he's proven it. But...
He hasn't proven that he can stay healthy.
That's the problem. So, that's the other brother. So, putting them in the tag team might be a way of Tony trying to see if he can keep that other guy healthy.
True.
Because if he can keep that team healthy, they will be a heck of a Ring of Honor tag team.
Okay, now time for main card.
Main card. So we
got 95% correct.
I was shocked.
You were.
I honestly thought when we were predicting them championship matches that we were both going to be so wrong, but we were so right. But we saw that with a non-title match. Woof. And I can't even pronounce that name.
What? D. Russian D versus
Blake Christian and A.R. Fox. It was a back and forth match, honestly, and I didn't think it would be. And the winner was a shock.
A.R. Fox.
I thought Urush was going to get this win, being that he was so dominant in Ring of Honor.
So they must have added. They must have added matches.
This was the last minute, and I agree with the person here. Grade B would be a good grade to give it. So now we come to the first of championship matches. It was for the women's title. Mercedes Martinez, or however
Mercedes Martinez.
There you go. Versus Ember Moon.
Athena.
This match basically flipped the babyface heel mode. And the reason it flipped, Athena has been playing the heel for a while. But we was in Dallas, Texas, which is, I did not know this, her hometown. Her hometown, not just city, not just state, but her hometown. And that place erupted. You talk about a loud building. That place was insane.
So,
I don't know how it's going to come off on TV. I'm waiting the 90 days. There's no sense of paying $40 when I can get it for $9. The plan was to watch it Tuesday, but when they announced that, you know what? I'm just going to save that $40. But that building was rocking.
So did you and Mary boo or did you cheer?
I didn't care. I liked them both. And so I didn't boo or cheer, but that place was loud.
You remind me of that indie show we went with Alvin and the guy
The
just goes,
atmosphere kind of reminded me of Austin when he first won his world championship, when the place went nuts. When she hit that finisher. Whoa. Oh, I missed the part. So in the opening match, that loose, whoever was the one that got pinned, technically kicked out. The referee effed up. And boy, did that crowd let him have it the entire night. See, they don't show you the referees coming in and out of the ring on most shows. But every time, it was the African-American referee.
And let me guess, every time the referee would come out for another match, the crowd would go, you effed up, effed up.
Not only did he get that, but he got booed during his entrance to the ring. The walk that the referees do to the ring to get back in the ropes. And I'm like, oh, that poor guy. I don't know if that was by design, or if Luce, or whoever, it may have been the other guy, wasn't supposed to kick out, but he did.
Well, they didn't show it on Dynamite. And you think...
It's a Ring of Honor they were trying to do away with. But that poor ref. I don't know if the guy that got pinned, like I said, I don't remember if it was Luce or the other one. But whoever got pinned, I don't know if they were supposed to stay down for a 3 count and didn't. Or if the ref missed the moment of when the match was supposed to end. But something did not go like that, man. But back to where we was. So, yeah, this match really was a back and forth for the women's title. It wasn't one-sided. But when she hit her Eclipse, the place went crazy. Even before the 3 count. They just knew it was it. And I looked at Mary right before she hit 3. The ref hit 3. I said, wouldn't it be funny about now if she kicks out? Of course, she didn't. But that crowd would have been all over that ref, too. So, of course, first match for the title. And we are right for the first match.
Yes.
And we get a new champion.
And it looked like we were going to go 100% for 100%.
We just about did. -1. And we will get to that. And this guy gives it a B+. I would go as far as an A-. It was good.
I want to know how many matches the African American referee had to officiate.
3 or 4.
So he heard.
And he heard it quite a bit.
Good Lord.
Shane Taylor's promotion for the Swerve in Our Glory.
I didn't see Swerve in Our Glory winning.
Well, Swerve leaves Keith. And Keith is able to basically win a handicap match there at the end. But I like what happened at the end of this match. And because there is a miscue between Shane Taylor. Well, him and his partner are nose to nose. At the end of the match. At the match is over.
Did they embrace Swerve or something?
No, not really, but Swerve keeps them from fighting each other. I don't know what... Well, not Swerve. I don't know what Keith says to him. But he gets in the middle. He says something to them both. and finally gets them to shake hands. And then they give the ring to Keith. I don't think this feud is over between Keith and
I'm surprised Swerve and Glory is.
I think they'll technically split. I don't see that story, that feud being over. But I also think Shane Taylor and him are going to have a one-on-one match. Because Shane has been holding a grudge since he left Ring of Honor for WWE. They were part of a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So, this guy gives it an A-. I don't know if I would go that high. I mean, it was good.
I'd give it a C.
I wouldn't go that low. I would give it a B. So, this match was predictable. Coming up. It was the second title match. It was Dalton Castle and his boys versus the Embassy. This match was predictable. You got 3 big horses going against basically one guy and 2 little boys.
Well, jobbers, basically.
For the most part, that's all they've ever been is jobbers.
Besides Dalton Castle, of course.
It doesn't really say who got pinned, but I know it was one of the boys. So yeah, the Embassy is now your new 6-man tag team champions. It was an entertaining match, nonetheless. It just was too predictable. This guy gives it a B-. I guess I can agree with a B-. Apparently, there was a tribute by Cage to Chris Candido. I'm not sure what he means by that. I will have to do some Googling and see what the deal was. So, we are down to, next is our Pure Championship match.
Yuta versus Garcia.
Garcia got Yuta to not only use all 3 of his ring breaks pretty early in the match, he got him to use his one and only closed fist warning. But Yuta was able to make Garcia use the fist too. After the first warning, it's automatic DQ the next time. I don't know if you knew that about that part or not.
Well, I know about the 3 rope breaks and the closed fist.
The closed fist is the first is a warning. After that is automatic DQ. I will say it was an uphill battle for Yuta the entire match. I don't know if that was by design, which I'm pretty sure it was. It was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone was thinking that we were going to have a champion we take, but we didn't. We had a new champion.
The only champion we had retained was Joe.
And we are not quite there. This person gives this an A.
I wouldn't go quite that far.
I would.
I would give it a B+.
I would give it an A. A or A-. I would definitely keep it in the A limit. Now for the match that should have been the main event.
Wait, you mean FTR versus Briscoes was not the main event?
It was not. I think it should have been.
How does a double dog collar match not be the main event?
Well, with the way this match turned out, and there's a lot of videos I've been watching that agree it really should have been the main event. But this match at one point, I don't even know. I may have made camera, and I just did something.
I will hold my phone now.
No, I was not quite done.
Hey!
So, there was one point of the match that Mary has to pick up all stuff, and she gets basically beside me.
Oh, they were that close to you? Do you? Hey.
I mean, but Mary grabbed all our stuff. We stood up, turned around, because they were literally... And I had this one guy, I didn't even realize it was a security guard at phone, but this one guy going like this, and I'm like, what the? And then I went, oh, it's a, because they was that cool. And then they went around us and down the aisle beside us, which, mind you, I was on the outside, and the chain gets caught up on part of the back rail that comes apart. It's one of them rails that you can take down. And so here was the security guard trying to catch up with him, grabbing the metal ball to the apron. It was hilarious. I hope that came across on camera because that would be a moment to laugh. This match went back and forth. It was a bloodbath. I tell you, that's the only thing I did not like about it. It wasn't the most violent of matches that I was expecting it to be.
Didn't Dax take like a suplex from the ring apron to...
Not a suplex. He just basically got yanked down into them chairs.
Oh. Well, that's not how it came across on TV. Well, from the package that
Wait, maybe it was a suplex. Hang on.
It was a suplex because one of the Briscoes was...
Okay, I know where I got sure. Because at one point, they went to throw him on without being a suplex, and it got blocked. And then they suplex, and that's where we winded up losing him and that Briscoe that did it for a while. Then it turned into a one-on-one dog collar match for a while. And then, close to the end, they are getting back up. But the other Briscoe was able to hold him back long enough for the tap out from the other Briscoe to make the other guy tap out because he was using the chain in like a modified...
in like a...
crossface type move. This guy goes A+. I'm going to say A- only because it wasn't the main event. It should have been.
Tony messed up.
I think this match was better than the world title main event. I really do. So the only title match that we did not get right
was Joe.
And that's the match we're on against Juice.
He's a double champion. I expected him to drop one of them.
Well, Joe did make a comment when he first came back that he was going to win all the belts. Maybe that's why. Maybe this is the beginning of that storyline.
Well, FTR made the same statement, and they
missed it by one. Maybe this is where the Joe storyline is going to go, and see what happens. Maybe he wins the world title for Ring of Honor before long, and then he starts chasing MJF. MJF is not going to lose that title for a while. Maybe even a year. They graded it a B. I can agree.
I can live with that.
So now the match that should have been in the Briscoe spot.
Jericho versus Claudio?
Uh-huh. I was shocked at how this ended. And I will get to that. It went pretty much back and forth. It gets a grade for B. But
a lot of people had high hopes.
your phone is as bad as mine. You can keep it, by the way.
People were hoping that this was going to be the Ring of Honor that they love.
What did you...
Oh, it's a promo for the Ring of Honor.
And I feel responsible because
So, they gave it a B. I would give it a low A. Maybe an A-. But the match, here's the shocker. Claudio has done his swing so many times.
And no one's ever tapped out to it. I don't think anyone's ever tapped out to a
No,
giant swing.
it's not really a submission. It's more of a getting you really type move. But he did 30 of them. And then the referee jumps and calls it. Apparently, Jericho submitted. I thought he passed out from my angle of the show. That's going to be another moment I'm going to be very interested to watch on
So,
TV.
from your point of view, you couldn't see the tap or anything like that.
He didn't tap unless he said, I quit to the left. I'm thinking he passed out. And that's what I do. I even looked at Mary and went, he passed out. He passed out. I said, it's over. And Mary goes, really? I went, that's what they're saying? I thought he passed out. But apparently, they are going with the storyline that he submitted. Again, it's going to be a moment to watch in about, well, 7 days short of 90 when he's going to upload it. But all in all, it was a solid show.
It even says here that Jericho tapped out to the big swing.
I didn't see the tap. I'm going to have to watch it live on TV. Well, I have a better angle of the thing.
When I heard Jericho tapped out, I'm like, that can't be, because that the only thing it can do is make you queasy and make you dizzy, but that's it.
Yeah, it's not a painful move. So I don't know. So what's your thoughts on everything?
My thoughts are, I never thought we would get to see WCW Jericho, where every time he lost, he'd throw a tantrum. But that's what we saw on Dynamite.
I heard that he threw a fit.
Oh, so you didn't watch Dynamite?
I had not, but I heard that there was an upset by Jericho losing.
He said that he was going to go against a jobber for a little tune-up match, and then he got caught in a small package and got an Action, I think his name is Action Johnson.
Yeah.
Then they come back from break, and Jericho's throwing everything. He goes, "I'm still the Ocho."
Well, here's the thing. That was Jericho's idea. That match. To lose that match. I guess he seen him on a episode of Dark. And Jericho told Tony, he says, "I'm going to make a star of that young man." And that was how this match was put together.
Overall, first off, I'm surprised that out of all the matches besides the 0 hour ones, because we didn't know about them,
We missed.
I'm surprised that we missed one.
Uh-huh.
I honestly expected we were just gonna.
Well, we didn't know about Loose either, so we didn't announce that. We didn't predict that one either. But the ones that we knew about, which was the championship matches that we predicted, we only missed the Joe match. And the more I think about it, Joe could be considered a Ring of Honor talent because he did return at Ring of Honor.
But he has the AEW TNT Championship as well.
Uh-huh. He's going to be pulling WWE for a while. So, let's talk about that. Ring of Honor TV. Let's talk about that for a couple minutes before I call it and have to head out. Honor Club.
I know you like it. Me, I will never buy a subscription, so it doesn't really appeal.
You don't buy WWE Network.
I used to before it moved to Peacock.
Which now is cheaper.
And you get more bang for your buck.
Uh-huh.
I know.
So here's the thing that you could do. I'm not saying you have to, but you could. You could buy the subscription like once every 2 or 3 months.
Uh-huh.
And go back and watch all the previous episodes. That way you don't have to buy it monthly. And I'm just curious how many people are going to do something like that. And he did say that this was a temporary move. So, and apparently more announcements are going to be made after Japan's big show coming up, Wrestle Kingdom. Regardless, if this is a temporary move or a permanent move, it's a good move. It gets them back a weekly show. And think about this. How many promotions is on weekly television with Fight TV?
Besides MLW?
Uh-huh.
None.
Oh,
yeah.
NWA is technically on. You can watch it on YouTube later in the week.
Mm-hmm.
But they are exclusive Fight TV and YouTube. I don't think this is a bad move for them, especially for the time being. It gets Ring of Honor back on weekly television. I'd be glad when the more announcements comes on when it's going to start. I don't expect it to start till after Wrestle Kingdom, even though he kind of made it sound like it could start any moment, and then more announcements will be made after. I think the more announcements is the start date, and then he may even announce when they will be moving to regular TV.
All right.
So his plan is to still continue as long as Warner Media Discovery will allow it to have their pay-per-views where they've been.
Oh yeah, because Warner Media, well, Discovery merged with Warner Media.
Uh-huh. So they will still have their pay-per-views on the Bleacher Report, whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
And then after they hit, and then he will upload them on the Honor Club 90 days after. That's why I said I would just wait the 90 days instead of paying that $40 right now. Especially since I've already watched it.
And the only reason why you buy it to begin with is because you don't get to hear the commentary at all when you're live.
That's the only thing. I wish they would actually have those mics open to the crowd too.
And, you know, I was wondering.
But they might not do that because it may echo on the TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was wondering why, like, when Undertaker lost his streak to Brock Lesnar at 30, I actually talked to a teacher that her and her husband went to the show, and I go, why was everyone shocked? She goes, when you're there live, you don't hear the commentary say anything.
You don't.
So she thought that we all thought the ref may have miscounted or something like that, but it wasn't.
No. And I'm not even sure if Paul knew what the outcome was going to be. Because if he did know, he played it good.
Well,
but to me, it's kind of like he did not know what the outcome was going to be. The only ones that probably knew was the two in the ring. And Taker probably told the referee when to do the job.
mm-hmm.
I don't even know if the referee knew.
Well, even Vince McMahon himself came out and said
Yuck.
that, oh, you got phlegm?
Yeah.
Came out and said that should have never happened.
I always thought that that job should have been done for like a rookie, moving up the ranks. That would have made him.
But since I guess we're done with Final Battle.
We are.
Let's talk about where William Regal is, and it's kind of interesting. He's back, but he
doesn't start till January 1st.
Did you know that he was Did you know that he was being paid by Vince McMahon while he was under an AEW contract?
Huh?
I'll explain. William Regal had two separate contracts. He was contracted as a talent and he was contracted as an employee.
Uh-huh.
When William Regal said that he didn't get fired or anything like that. He just texted Vince and said, "Hey boss, I got this thing with Daniel Bryan, and it's over. It's over on competition." He says, "Good, go there." And his employee contract didn't run out until sometime when he was under AEW.
That's interesting.
And I don't think Vinnie Mac is ever going to come back, even though he wants to come back.
I don't think I think if he did, there would be a lot of walkouts.
Speaking of which, there is something I want your opinion on. I've asked you this on Marco, and now I want you to tell it to the entire world. Mandy Rose, after dropping the NXT Women's Championship to Roxanne Perez on NXT, Wednesday, no one saw it coming, but she gets fired. And the reason was given that she was giving out adult-centered content on other websites.
Well,
I asked you, did Triple H make the right decision? You said yes.
and I'm
Do
going
you-
to change that, by the way, because what you do on your own time is your own business. I know WWE felt like they had no choice because of all the stockholders, blah, 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 blah. But more information has came out that the WWE didn't even give her the option to take it down, like they do most of their talent. That in itself is confusing. Why wouldn't you at least give them the option? Mandy's not going to have problems finding work. Impact, Tommy Dreamer's already DM'd Mandy and said, call me. Which is one of the producers for Impact. Tony Khan would be stupid not to at least entertain the idea of bringing her in to one of his rosters. New Japan has now got a women's division. And they own Shimmer's all-women company. MLW has finally got their women's division up and going. The NWA, they're supposed to be launching a TV title for the women on top of the two women's divisions. She's not going to have problems finding work. Question is she under a 30 or 90 day no to compete?
Well,
Traditionally, NXT is 30. But she was a main roster talent. Question is, she was with NXT for a year as champion. Did her current deal expire in that time frame, and was her new deal penciled in as an NXT contract? Or was she still under the main roster contract and have a 90-day? No one knows.
well,
I will say this. Adult content should never be allowed. However, what you do on your off time is no business of your employee. That'd be like I working for McDonald's, doing something that is not part of their guideline off the clock. They can't touch you.
normally I would agree with that assumption, but I'm going to agree to disagree. While I do agree that
Which,
what happened, what you do in your off time isn't any of the company's business, there's also another way to look at it, and that is as an ambassador of the WWE.
you at least, and this is where I have the issue, you at least need to talk to them about removing the issue.
And I don't have a doubt in my mind that once WWE became aware of it, that they probably approached Mandy, and Mandy said, I'm not taking it down.
They didn't approach her. That's what's being revealed. No one came to her at all. They just gave her the email that no one wants to get.
Fired.
Yeah. So, with that being said, this has came to a conclusion, and believe it or not, we did 2 videos in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just barely, but we made it. Final thoughts.
Now, if only somebody could remember to wake up on time. You just keep slapping.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Wow, he's speechless.
Well,
No, it's not snowing yet.
my final thoughts are this. Number 1, let's get out of 2022.
It's an amen to that.
Number 2, a lot of things have happened in wrestling. The final battle was good. Not going to deny that. Tony Khan messed up with the main event selection, even though I understand where he was going with that. And number 3, Well, glad you guys had fun.
My final thoughts is the final battle was one heck of a show. Tony has been putting on some still Ring of Honor shows. 25,000 pay-per-view buys, over 2,700 fans in that building. And I honestly think that number's a bit low. I think it was more than that because they did have to open up the balcony towards the end of the show with more people coming in.
You couldn't at least get an ROH hoodie to replace your AEW hoodie?
They didn't have any. I looked. That's what I mainly was after, but they didn't have a hoodie.
Your AEW hoodie has more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
I'm going to have to look at the website and see if they have one because that's really what I was after, but they didn't have one. But with that all being said, Ring of Honor TV is coming back. I know some people have had mixed reviews on it. I like it at least for a short-term deal. Maybe even for a year or so. And with the AEW TV deal coming up, that may give him a bargaining chip. Because Warner does want to keep AEW going. With that being said.
Now considering that you have been to NWA, Impact, ROH, AEW. What about a WWE or an MLW?
I'm looking into the MLW side of things.
No WWE.
I haven't said that yet. I'm usually not looking at those schedules. So by the time I usually find out they're coming close, I'm out of luck. So I do need to keep up with those schedules. I am wanting to go to like MLW. I would like to be able to go to one where I know for a fact there's a cage in the ring. Never seen a cage match live. I would like to see like a War Games style match live. But with that being said, this is Hardcore Wrestling 101 saying,
and Hardcore Christopher saying, keep it hardcore, everyone. Let's get out of 2022, go into 2023 with an open mind.
And no more people going bye-bye forever.
Yes,
I've had too many deaths in my family.
We've both went through a lot this year. And honestly, went to too many funerals to count.
Cheers.